Welcome to the Dharma Wheel channel, a place to share knowledge about Buddhism as well as the teachings of the Buddha. Albert Einstein once said, "If there is any religion that would cope with modern scientific needs, it would be Buddhism." What is so special about Buddhism that Einstein said that? This video will help you understand clearly what Buddhism is, the origin of Buddhism, and the views of Buddhism. What makes Buddhism a special and growing religion in the West? Now, let's get started. Buddhism is an ancient religion in India dating back 2,500 years. Buddhism was founded by Siddhartha Gautama, also known as the Buddha. He is a real historical figure born in 624 BC and died in 544 BC. He was born as a prince of the Gautama royal family of the Sakya state in the Kapilavastu region. He has a good life with his beautiful wife named Yasodhara, and his son named Rahula. One day, when he went out for a walk, he saw the scene of old people getting sick and dying. He thought about why people are born, grow up, have families, have children, and eventually have to suffer old age, get sick, and die. He believed that there was a way to help people escape the suffering of birth, old age, illness, and death. So at the age of 29, he left a wealthy life to find a way to escape from birth, old age, and death to save yourself and all sentient beings. After 6 years of searching for religion and living an ascetic life, he was enlightened under the Bodhi tree. With a compassionate heart, he shared what he had enlightened with sentient beings, and Buddhism began from there. What are the beliefs of Buddhism? Buddhists do not believe in Creator God. Buddhism is often described as non-theistic rather than atheistic, as it does not revolve around the worship of a creator deity, or emphasize the existence of a supreme being who controls the universe. The concept of God or gods doesn't play a central role in Buddhist teachings. Buddhists believe in the law of cause and effect. They do not believe in God's blessing or bringing disaster to someone, but everything good or bad that happens to us is the result of good or bad deeds from the past or present, called karma. It is this karma that will determine who you are, whether you are beautiful or ugly, what your life will be like. Buddhism also believes that human life is a cycle of suffering and rebirth. When people die, they will be reborn in 6 realms, of which 3 good realms are human, asura and gods, 3 evil realms are hell, hungry ghosts, and animals. Only by enlightenment and reaching a state called nirvana can one end rebirth and escape this cycle. And the first person to reach enlightenment was Siddhartha Gautama, also known as the Buddha. So the question is, what did the Buddha enlighten? What did he teach to Buddhists? The answer is the 4 noble truths. They are dukkha, the truth of suffering; samudaya, the truth of the cause of suffering; nirodha, the truth of the end of suffering; and magga, the truth of the path that leads to the end of suffering. It can be said that all Buddhist teachings are contained in the 4 noble truths. The first noble truth, dukkha, life always involves suffering, in obvious and subtle forms. Even when things seem good, we always feel an undercurrent of anxiety and uncertainty inside. The second noble truth, samudaya, the Buddha points out the cause of suffering is desire, and ignorance lie at the root of suffering. By desire, Buddhists refer to craving pleasure, material goods, and immortality, all of which are wants that can never be satisfied. As a result, desiring them can only bring suffering. The third noble truth, nirodha, Buddha pointed out that the end of suffering is nirvana. When one has achieved nirvana, which is a transcendent state free from suffering in our worldly cycle of birth and rebirth, spiritual enlightenment has been reached. The fourth noble truth, magga, Buddha finally shows the way to end suffering and reach nirvana, which is the noble eightfold path. The eightfold path consists of 8 practices: right view, right resolve, right speech, right conduct, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right samadhi. What are the different types of Buddhism? There are 3 main schools of Buddhism: Mahayana, Theravada, and Vajrayana. Theravada Buddhism is popular in Sri Lanka, Thailand, Burma, Myanmar, Laos, and Cambodia. Theravada focuses on the original teachings of the Buddha as preserved in the Pali Canon, emphasizing individual liberation and the path to enlightenment through meditation, moral conduct, and insight. Monastic life is highly valued, and the goal for practitioners is to attain personal enlightenment, nirvana, by following the Eightfold Path and the Four Noble Truths. Mahayana Buddhism is popular in China, Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Singapore, Vietnam. It encompasses a wider range of texts beyond the Pali Canon, and introduces new sutras, scriptures, that emphasize the ideal of the bodhisattva, a being dedicated to attaining enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. Mahayana places greater emphasis on compassion, universal salvation, and the concept of emptiness, shunyata, teaching that all phenomena lack inherent existence. It offers various skillful means, upaya, and paths, such as Pure Land Buddhism, Zen, and Tibetan Buddhism, catering to diverse spiritual inclinations and practices. Vajrayana Buddhism is popular in Tibet, Nepal, Bhutan, and Mongolia. It incorporates esoteric teachings, rituals, and meditation practices that involve visualization, mantras, mandalas, and deity yoga to achieve enlightenment in one lifetime. Vajrayana places a strong emphasis on the role of the guru, and the transmission of teachings through oral instructions and empowerments, initiations. This branch is characterized by its complex rituals, secret practices, and the use of symbolism to facilitate rapid spiritual progress. Is Siddhartha Gautama the only Buddha? The answer is no, because according to Buddhist history, before Gautama Buddha, many Buddhas appeared. And the principle is that in the same period, only one Buddha appears to spread enlightenment, and when Buddhism disappears completely, a new Buddha will be born. And according to Gautama Buddha's prediction, the future Buddha who will appear is Maitreya Buddha in the Mahayana Buddhist tradition, the image that we often see, an image of Buddha with a chubby appearance, with a bright smile. In Theravada Buddhism, it is a Buddha named Maitreya. According to Gautama Buddha's introduction, Maitreya Buddha will be born when the human lifespan reaches 80,000 years old. According to Buddhism, the current human lifespan will gradually decrease until the human lifespan decreases to 10 years and will begin to increase again until 80,000 years old and Maitreya Buddha will appear. What do Buddhists practice every day? In general, Buddhists often apply the precepts in daily life, which is to keep the 5 precepts: do not kill, do not steal, do not commit adultery, do not drink alcohol, and do not lie. In addition, each school will have different practices such as meditation. Meditation is a fundamental practice in Buddhism. Buddhists often meditate daily, focusing on mindfulness, vipassana, concentration, samatha, or specific contemplative practices to develop insight and clarity of mind. Meditation sessions may vary in duration and technique. Offerings and devotional practices. Some Buddhists perform daily rituals involving offerings of flowers, incense, or food to representations of the Buddha or Bodhisattvas as an act of respect and devotion. This may include bowing, chanting, and reciting sutras or mantras. Recitation of Buddhist texts, reading or reciting passages from sacred texts is a common practice. It helps in studying and reflecting upon the teachings of the Buddha. Mindfulness in daily activities. Practicing mindfulness in everyday activities is crucial in Buddhism. This involves being fully present and aware while performing routine tasks like eating, walking, or working. It's about being mindful of thoughts, feelings, and actions throughout the day. Active compassion and generosity. Practicing compassion and generosity by helping others, volunteering, or engaging in acts of kindness is an integral part of daily practice. It aligns with the teachings on loving kindness and compassion, metta. Attendance at temples or monasteries. Some Buddhists visit temples or monasteries daily, engaging in communal practices, participating in teachings, or seeking guidance from resident monastics. Hopefully this video has helped people better understand Buddhism. We can see that it is not only a religion but also a philosophy of life worth learning and applying in daily life. Practicing principles such as love, tolerance, and gratitude can help us live happily and peacefully in a turbulent world. Let's spread love and peace together, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to continue receiving other useful videos from us. Thank you very much. Wishing everyone a peaceful and happy life.